welcome back for another episode, everybody. Awesome in the building, of course. And then we got...
El Tizzle.
Excuse LT. That's why I'm doing the intro, because, you know, he's breaking us fast. You know what I'm saying? And we got Hamza Aberra in the building. Finally, you pulled up. Well, you always pull up, but for the episode.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean?
We got Hamza in the building.
Local
Mr. Comedy.
Local comedian.
MashaAllah.
And my cousin, you know, shout out Hamza, the Aberra family, you know what I mean? So what do you tell people? You from DC? Eritrea?
Yeah, I don't like to say
when they ask you
DC,
where
man,
you from?
because it's a two-part question, but I don't like to say DC because, like I said, I don't want to get approached in the club if I blow up, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're not even from DC, man. I'm at a press release or something like that.
So where do you say you from?
I just say I'm from Alexandria, yeah.
Alexandria.
You were born in Virginia, right? Or no?
No, actually, I was born
In Philly?
overseas.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
How you don't know that about your cousin,
Stop
bro?
playing. I thought it was Philly. Let me
What's
call your
up?
mom. Let me call your mom real quick, double check.
How does that,
No,
I
I was born in Norway.
Norway.
Yeah.
What's
Mashallah.
up, like?
Wallahi.
Oh, dang,
For
I
real?
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, you-
but like I left when I was like 1 year old.
You got the dual.
I got dual citizenship just in
that's
case,
dirty.
just in case stuff
That's
falls
tough.
in America.
That's
You know what I'm
tough.
saying?
Nah, that's tough.
And Norway's actually like the richest country, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, go on.
when
Hey,
it
you were
comes to,
just
like-
there
I
recently.
was just there, yeah.
How was that, though?
That was
Is it?
good, you know, reconnecting with my Scandinavian people.
He has some cousins out there. You know
Eating
what's
strudels.
funny?
Mashallah, bro.
You know what's funny? Because I saw you. I didn't know you was out there. I saw your story, and then I hear Habisha is talking in some weird accent.
Yeah.
So like, where
Some
are they
weird
from?
Germanic language.
You're like, I'm in Norway. I was like, oh,
There?
snap.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, Norway.
So how about just be talking? You know Norwegian?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Yeah,
But
no.
your peoples there are
They
some
do.
people know.
Everyone in Scandinavia speaks English. They speak like a cold kind of English. They sound like the dude from Die Hard.
Oh, that's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
I would never
That's how
expect
they talk to, but they all speak English there. It's like their second language.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But you know a little bit of background also about Hamza, comedian, right?
Yeah.
When did you start? Or a matter of fact, let's talk about how you got into that.
I mean, you know, like people always said like I had like a different perspective, but I also felt like I had something to say, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I be knowing people that say like, oh, you know, people tell me I'm funny, you know what I'm saying? This,
Right,
but
right.
I felt like I had something to say. And I felt like also it could be like in a way where it would stick to people, because that's like an important part of comedy. Like, for example, there's a good amount of like killers, like people that kill.
Right.
But like, for example, like you'll ask them, and I'm not like knocking anybody because I'm still trying to, but there's people, for example, like, be like, damn, you liked him? And they'd be like, yeah, what'd you like? It's like, I don't know, I was laughing. You know what I'm trying to say? But like, you have to be able to kill, but it's also like they remember what you was talking about. And that's like what people make like specials out of, like that type of material, like stuff that really sticks to your ribs, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff.
Did you see a lot of it growing up? Like, let's say when you, like comedy or something? Or you just always wanted to, because I'm a comedian too, you know what I'm saying? That's why me and Hamza can relate, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to where Hamza at right now. My
Show's coming soon with LT and
We're
Hamza.
gonna do some stand-ups, you know what I'm saying? But like, I noticed with me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I've always had that persona of wanting to be the class clown, or like, you know, being the class clown. Sometimes naturally, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, have you had that feeling, like, you know what I'm saying, like coming up in a way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, you know, I used to make people laugh, but sometimes it would be like not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, what did I do? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
happens.
One time I even subbed, because I'll get into that. Like, sometimes I sub at schools, and I remember I walked in.
Oh, yeah,
I was
you're a
there-
substitute teacher. That's right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
walked into class, and I was there for like 3 minutes, and these are like younger kids.
Right.
Like third graders or second graders, and one of them was like, "Are you a comedian?" And I was hurt because I was like, "What did I do?"
Like,
You know what I'm
naturally
saying?
off the jump without even hearing you talk.
Yeah.
Low-key, you just joined. You're like, yo, this guy
It's
looks
just-
funny.
it's
Yeah,
just-
you might have
it's
a
like
comedian
reminiscent of
face or
something
something, yeah.
I went home, like I thought about it.
I'm
I
like,
was
wait, do I
dude.
have it written on my forehead or something?
Yeah, I was.
No, that's insane though.
But the
So,
thing
you
was
know-
with Hamza though, like when he first told me he wanted to do stand up, I was not surprised because he has a knack for storytelling. Like growing up, I always told him
That's
this.
one thing
Every time he's like telling us a situation, he's like, it's like a whole story.
Facts.
Yeah.
But it's like funny, like he like brings you in and it's like you see everything he's talking about, but he just has that storytelling like skill.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's also a very important factor into, like, you know what I'm saying, like comedy, you know what I'm saying, or like
Yeah,
stand-up comedy.
for sure.
It's like, if you know how to, like, I can tell a story, you can tell a story, same
right.
story, But
how you say it.
And how you
Yes,
say
yeah.
it, how you make people feel about it, especially like throughout, that'll take the roof out the room. So even with comedy, when would you say you started?
So like in 20, like I think I was telling you, so in 2019, around that time, like I would do it like once every month for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So that was like the first time, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then it was just 6 times. Then the pandemic hit, and I just didn't do it for a minute. Then I started like hitting the street.
Right.
With the speaker.
Street?
Yeah, with the
Oh,
speaker
yeah,
on the
yeah,
street.
yeah, I remember those.
Which I still do
That
sometimes.
series,
Sometimes I
yeah.
go to Shaw.
Outside.
Yeah, sometimes I go
Georgetown,
to Shaw.
I used to go to
No, that's
Georgetown.
hard. That's hard.
I go to Shaw
That's a
Skate
hustler.
Park. Yeah. But I be gotta be careful, man, because I almost got stabbed one time. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, you know, somebody's having a bad day. You just say the wrong thing. Like,
Wait. Oh, they was mad at your joke that you said.
I said one dude looked like Paul Mooney. He was mad. He was upset. You know what
I'm not gonna lie, like
He
I
was
know
like-
what Paul Mooney looked like.
He was like,
You don't know who Paul Mooney is?
You gonna rehearse
You
saying
can
them jokes.
Google him. He's a
He's a legend.
R.I.P.
yeah.
Paul Mooney. Yeah, he used to be on the Chappelle Show a lot.
Yeah. He's
He's a comedian.
He's one of them comedians that
Is him?
Yeah, that's
he
Paul
actually
Mooney.
used to write for Richard Pryor too.
Right. Yeah.
And he's one of those comedians like too like raw for mainstream.
Okay.
So like he did get like a lot of that like respect in comedy, and then like he made his money, but he didn't get to that level like I guess with some other people, not
Stardom,
because
yeah.
of talent, but just because of like approach and those things, and that's what made
He wasn't
like,
a yes man, right?
Yeah, but it also made kind of like Patrice O'Neal
Yeah, like that.
situation.
Yeah, he's that.
But it also made me respect like the stuff that Gossip be telling me, because sometimes I get too, not arrogant, but yeah, a little bit arrogant when I'm like, man, I'm good enough to where the talent just gonna show it. I feel like the talent is gonna ride a lot, but you do have to be like A&R and
Right,
do that type
right,
of stuff.
right, right.
Because even sometimes, like even with the videos you see, I'm like, man, I just put it out, and people do mess with it, but it's
Right.
like it do got to be that 4K quality.
Right,
Those,
right.
those
little
things have to happen because
Right.
they just skyrocket you.
Right.
But you know that like. But the combination is what makes it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, you know, there's a bunch of people
Damn,
that
they
do all that
blasting
stuff.
that music. My
You know
bad,
what I'm
y'all.
saying?
Yeah, bro.
It's all good though. Continue though.
Yeah, it's the government. You know what I'm saying?
It's
It's the
like,
government.
yo, that's a crazy comeback.
So I'm sure P Diddy just driving by.
Yo, just blame it on the
No
government,
Diddy,
bro.
no Diddy, yeah.
Literally blame it on the government. But nah, they over there cranking on Georgia Avenue. I'm like,
It's all
bro,
good.
might as well, since we already talking about it, not to cut you off, bro, but you know, 3019 Georgia Avenue, Washington, D.C., 20006.
There
Pull
you
up
go.
to Halal Wrist Restaurant, you know what I'm saying? As you see right here, you know what I'm saying? We got them goods, bro, the goods. But like, you were saying that, you know,
Oh no!
even the
I
quality
wanted
of
to.
them-
My bad. Before you get to that, I was trying to bring
I
up
was
the
just trying
Georgetown, the Georgetown stuff. Remember you doing the street comedy though.
Yeah.
What made you want to even do that though? Because
So there was another comedian that he would do it like every now and then, and I saw him and I was like, man, this is a good opportunity to just try stand up more and da.
yeah,
But then like when we was doing it, like it was like a really dope like because I'm not even gonna fake. Now that I do it sometimes now when it gets warm, and some days like they show love. Some days are just like.
because it's packed.
The outside. You
when it
still
be
do the
warm,
outside?
When it be warm certain days, man, it's amazing. And it's like, I like to, you know, we can connect it to rest in peace to the Akira, I don't want to missay his last name.
Who?
The dude who made Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
I had a feeling.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that metaphor. So even at an open mic, they give you like 5-10 minutes, right? And I don't know if y'all watch Dragon Ball Z. There was a place called the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and that's where like Goku would go. And basically, in that chamber, he could like train for a year, but in our time, it's only a day's time.
Wow.
So he could do a year's training, come out, and be like, "Damn, it's been one day,
Right.
strong as shit." Then go back in,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So by the end of the year, he's gotten like how many years?
Yeah,
So
years, but over here it seems like only 2 or 3 days.
yeah. So same thing how I feel, because nobody's gonna tell me like, "Oh, you gotta get on stage." I
Yeah.
can just set it to 45 and just talk shit for 45
Right,
minutes.
right.
Try new jokes, freestyle. That's my hyperbolic time chamber.
I
You know what
see what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying.
It is different from being indoors,
Yeah.
but you still can actually like. There are jokes that I've only like. Remember how I said during the pandemic, I really felt like I was made a comedian in the street.
Right.
There was my first like 15 minutes was stuff that in the street, like when people would stop and they'd either laugh or smile,
Right.
and I'd be like, okay, they're smiling at that, so I'm getting a
feed
reaction.
it.
So I'm gonna say that, and then I said those jokes on stage and killed with those jokes.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't get like huge
you
laughs,
did your math.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like use their smiles, and then that converted to laughs.
Right,
So
right.
see,
Nah,
you know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
that. I feel that, and it's a lot of work off of like others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh,
like what
yeah.
you say, like, cause we all can write jokes, but it's like, hey, are they good enough?
Are they good?
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or do they differ in terms of crowds? Like in terms of, let's say you do a stand up here and do a stand up somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
like-
something that I could
that's-
talk
yeah.
about. Like the rest of this podcast could be about that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, like it's just like DC is like, I think it's a combination of just now. It's not the '90s no more, where it's like PC everywhere.
Right.
But for real, like at a comedy show, I feel like you don't even feel that as much in other cities because they like, we're here to laugh or we're here to hear jokes. But in DC, it's just like the political stuff, and I don't know, man. Like they just don't. I think like they also just don't, because I like to really express myself up there, and there's times even where, all right, I'm like, this is something that happens, but I know it don't matter because of what I'm about to say next. It's like, so there's times where people are like, bro, you always want to finish off strong. You know, it's always nice to finish off strong, like, and that, da-da-da, and then my name's Hamza, you know, and that does sound good, or that does feel good, but example I can give you, last week before that, and I think like another week recently, like, I did that at the end. I was like, I'm going to just say some really, like, iffy stuff at the end.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was waiting at the door, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to like tell people to watch the little mixtape I got on. People were still like, yo, you were the best of the night. So it's not like that ruined them liking me the most. And other hitters were using like their closers that was nice.
Right.
But I was like, let me just say it's the end of the set. Let me say it's a really controversial thing. And they didn't even laugh as much. But they still felt like overall I was the best of the night.
The best
so it didn't like take the energy away from me, but all it did was help me grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
so
I get exactly.
And then I always sandwich them in between because I always got to freestyle and I always got to throw in something new. It's just an urge to grow, but I know it's work because at this point I have so much material from that.
Right.
And that's really, I feel like I do cook up a lot of stuff. Like, all right, I think a lot, I make a lot of stuff, but I think it's also my willingness to take risks, which is like something that, again, like I know a lot of folks don't do. Like sometimes it's not really, because I feel the pressure every time. Like there's times when like everyone's really killing. Right. And you're like, I should just say everything I know is gonna work, and I know I'm gonna freestyle a little bit because that's just who I am.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna also say this new crazy thing, just see how they, if they mess with it.
Yeah, if they mess with
it. How do you deter, like when you go on stage, do you like, you know how you do crowd work or something? Because I've noticed you've been getting better at that too, right? Just going off with the flow of the crowd.
Yeah.
When do you decide to like, yo, I'm just gonna go for it and just like off the top versus like your written material?
Well, sometimes, so the two things. So I found out like recently, or not that recent, but like writing on stage is apparently what I do, because I don't. That's what they call it, but
you said writing on stage.
That's like the official terminology for it, but to me that's just like how I like make material. But I found out there's some like other people that do it, but it's just apparently like more rare. But it's basically like how I be like coming up with stuff is like I'll be like, either I'm like driving and I'm like, man, every time motherfuckers do this, da da da, and I'm like, hold on, and I like record myself. Right. But I'll be like, let me write it down. But I don't ever sit down and be like, Roe v. Wade, gotta say something funny about Roe v. Wade, or like, dang,
trying to force it. You don't force it.
That's like the normal process though for a lot of people. But anyway. So I'll do that, or like I'll say it on stage, and then like since I always like genuinely am saying the joke on stage, I'm not just reading lines, I do like continue to talk about the subject, and that's me extending the joke. And sometimes I'm like, dang, that was good. I'm gonna keep that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep that. So that's called.
You even surprise yourself.
I surprise myself. But I have, because I know it's important. I'll never birth a joke by writing it, but I don't think like there's nothing wrong with boosting it by like, if I sit now, I think just to even like level myself even more, like it's boring the way I'm talking about, but there's nothing wrong with like maybe adding something by writing. But I never will like birth something that way. Never. I'll never be like, oh crap, NCAA, like women's like gotta write something about it. And then like, you know what I'm saying? And just like, nah, I'll never do that. But like I'll just end up talking about that, or I'll have the emotion of that, and that's actually what helps the delivery be good, because I really feel it every time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really frustrated about this, or I'm really like, how come this is happening?
So that's even thoughts, right? Like it's basically what you're telling me that it's thoughts. I feel like I kind of like relate to you in a way because it's like I like experiences when I write down jokes. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like certain things that maybe you've been through or something, especially when you're trying to compare the cultural to whatever audience you have. You always gotta work with what audience you have. Yeah. But what I'm getting from you, I'm trying to learn here so I can write down notes on how I should think about it.
Yeah, he's gonna pick it up this year.
But I will. You know what I'm saying? Most likely, I'll probably, and I'm gonna come mess with you on Fridays and Saturdays for sure. Yeah. By the way, Hamza is where? Let them know where. On Fridays
I do
and Saturdays.
Moonlight every single Friday and Saturday.
Here in DC.
Adams Morgan, right?
Adams Morgan. Yeah, I do other places, but that just varies. You know.
Nah, I'll be there for sure.
I do other junk,
But even those thoughts, it's like tweaking it is somewhat of what do I do with like experiences. Like I remember I've told a joke about like, let's say there was this recently that one stand up I did. It was like you know what I'm saying, how like in Ramadan right after, you know what I'm saying, you break fast, the first move ain't really tarawih, it's like the hookah, but you know what I'm saying. So it's like I put it down like it's an experience or something we all go through and related. Yeah.
That's what's gonna make it again. Like it'll like make them burst into laughter, but also will make them remember it.
Fact.
Because they're like, dang, that hit home. Yeah. The first time that something like that happened was, I was like at a Safeway with my uncle. Okay. And a dude came up to me. This was like 2 months. Right. After, and he was like, "You still picking up girls doing Uber?" And I was like, "In front of your uncle?" Yeah, I was that. But he remembered. That's the point. He remembered like what I was like talking about. So that was like
your uncle's confused. You don't get girls.
It's like, hold on.
But they're not dumb, bro. They're not dumb. They're not.
A virgin. But actually, I actually think about all that stuff differently now because finding out like, like they be having past,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like they was, saying
crazy,
teens, as much as we was
yeah.
teens, or whatever.
They made that.
Okay, he was high. He's like, oh, my nephew's getting women. Okay.
They be having real past, like whole children. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like that you don't know about.
Man, whole second family. Marriage, bro. I'm talking about whole
I'm going for 7 months.
Easy, bro. We didn't even go there.
Yeah. But
but those little experiences, like, spark up something that you can use as a joke, especially let's say, do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, having that actually I have two questions, but one of the first ones was, even with this, like the jokes and everything, it's like, with being, Eritrean, and being so cultured in a way, right? But also having to adapt to like somewhat of like the American, I mean, you have best of both worlds. You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Do you feel like, hey, sometimes you might have it in your head, but stay away from like using the culture as much as you use the American culture jokes, or maybe in a cultural settings use the culture
too Americanized, more? I think.
Well,
right?
The thing is,
but you have like the most recent one I seen yesterday was like you was talking about Eritrean stare.
Yeah.
I just seen that.
That is true. I forgot about that.
So it's like that is a great joke that I feel like plays both parts, cultural and you know what I'm saying,
American.
Yeah, because it's like. Americans, they know it.
I was surprised. That's what shocked me.
You want to play that joke? Or you want to play that?
That was actually
that
was what surprised me because, like, a lot of people that just even know, like, Ethiopians, Eritreans, they'd be like, even people in Philly, because I would think here, because
most populated East African areas,
so everybody
can relate to it. Yeah.
But even people from Philly, I know, be like, yeah, bro, them Ethiopians, man. They
that's what I'm saying.
So
it's like they know us now. Like it got to a point where like they understand.
I be saying it to my mom or dad, and I was like, yo, why y'all stop staring?
Just like I was saying,
it's just natural though. Sometimes I feel like low-key I'd be doing the same thing. I just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, even the girls that be trying to like act like like I'm bad and like I'm too American, they can hide everything else. Yeah. Or they could be like,
but not the stare.
The stare they can't. They still be like, how much? Is he from?
I get that a lot, by the way. I'm Sudanese, but I get that a lot. They be like,
are you Habesha?
No, I'm sorry, my bad.
LT knows a little bit, a little hard.
But this is the clip right here.
You cannot hide who you are.
Yeah, you cannot.
Oh, I was leaving the corner store today. I was walking out. My bad. Some guy was walking in. Obviously, he's an Ethiopian dude. Hold on, pause it real quick. because I was walking out. It's like he got so happy or excited that I was having. I'm walking out and he stops me. He starts smiling. I'm like, yo, what's going on with this guy? He's like, are you Habesha? I'm like, yeah, bro.
Like people, I have looked for.
Yeah,
He's like, cuz you look Ethiopian. I was like, I'm Eritrean, bro. And I just walked away.
He's like, I'll just cut this off here.
They be too excited.
Just
They
a
be
little
too
bit
excited
too.
to see the. I'm not saying only y'all, even us. Like I remember this one time, even recently, me and my dad were go somewhere. It was somewhere, right? And I was like, I was walking with him or something, and we see somebody that looks exactly Sudanese, bro. Like crazy Sudanese. I'm like, and I'm saying it in Arabic. I'm thinking I got the advantage over here. I'm saying it in Arabic. But whole time, if he's Sudanese, he gonna understand what you said. So that's exactly what happened. So I'm like, I said in Arabic, Azol the Shukr Sudani. This person looks Sudani. The guy that just passed. He was like, aye, yeah. Guess what he ends up doing? He ends up saying, I am a Sudani. Yeah, I'm Sudani.
Oh,
Literally right back to us. They called us.
Yeah,
So it's like, we do it all the time too. And try to like, see, what's it called?
You want to play this right now?
You play this video.
No, listen. What I learned while in Ethiopia is that Ethiopia is the staring capital of the world. With them Homer Simpson eyes. They like I have Ethiopian friends, they can't stop staring, it's true. No, but the difference is in America, like, you know, people stare at America, but if you like notice, they're like, oh shit. And they look away. Ethiopia, you look back, they're like, I'm staring at you.
Indeed, bro. Another thing I was gonna say too is like, and I want to know how you know what I'm saying, if you're that type of comedian. I've watched some of your work. I've seen a little bit of it, but impersonations.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have like anything there or?
Well, so I definitely that was actually something that I was trying to even do a little bit, like specific people.
Okay.
I don't feel like with specific celebrities or whatever, I don't feel like I am like A1 or do that a lot.
Right.
But I definitely like embody the characters all the time.
Okay.
Like a person, like different accents. I do that a lot. I actually was trying to even do it a little less.
Less?
Not necessarily it's a bad thing, but I was just trying to like balance it out. But I do that a lot. Like when it's like, for example, like I was like, you know, when I had like the different people to get in my Ubers.
Yeah.
And I had like the one, like I had, you know, I don't know if they, but you know, it's like Nikita.
Okay.
Like that could be like a sexy little Bollywood Indian girl, right? Hello, my friend Nikita. Or it could be this dude. I am Nikita Bolshevik.
It could be a range.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Nah, that's OC creative, yeah.
I just realized that could be an Indian and a Russian name. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
see,
That's wild.
Yeah, so you know, it really could be 5-time European strongman and neck press holder.
Even like that, like in terms of if that ever becomes negative content, how do you like portray that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not negative, obviously.
You mean
we're
like
comedic.
what, like seems racist?
Yeah.
I mean,
like if it ever seems stuff like that, how do you control that with the crowd?
Well,
As long as it's funny,
I'm over
right?
here asking this man. I'm trying to figure out how it is out there.
No, I understand. No, so for me, the reason why I never have guilt is because there's never animosity. Because like I feel like comedians, like even Chappelle was talking about, you know, Chappelle's like all super complex and like, even though he, like Chappelle, they'd be like Chappelle, they come to Chappelle like, you was chilling with a Klan member, and he'll give you like this deep reason why he's around him, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he'll bring up for like in 1921, a new law was passed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nigga, why are you hanging out
He
with
does that
the
a lot in his comedy.
He does,
You know, when back in the bro, he does that a lot.
That's my deep explanation. What he said one time, he said like, he was listening to some white dude and he was like, you meant every word of that, but you know, I like to, I still had a drink with him or whatever, because I like to, you know, like basically be around the art or of satire and something like, some reason he gave, you know. But anyway, like there's times when I feel like, all right, there's animosity. If it's funny, there's that part, but also it's just how it is formed. For me, the way I do it is I like to I think it's the way the joke is. That's number one. Okay. So you can tell, like, all right, it was kind of crazy, but also I don't think he like hates those people. Right. Then I also come back and kind of shit on myself a little bit. So that's how you know I'm being racist to myself. Right. Then also I might say something good about like dumb people too. You know what I'm trying to say?
You're trying to win them back. You're trying to win them back with the
like
joke.
even with Louis C.K., he be
saying wild stuff.
Yeah, he be saying crazy stuff. But it's like for me, I think like for him, like he be also like he always has like a good reason and it's funny. But like he's the type of person, like put it this way, he says things that like I feel like certain white people have even been like, yeah, hell yeah. But then he'll say the next thing he'll say or something else he'll say, same white people like, I ain't trying to hear this because it's so real.
Right,
so it's
right,
like, all right,
right.
because like he had a thing where he was talking about, you know, he'd be saying like nigger and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But he had one thing where he was on like one of them, he says it in his stand-up, like things like he said, I remember in the same, one of the same specials he said the N-word in, there was another joint where the same special, he was like, America's like a bad girlfriend to the rest of the world because they always bring up old stuff. It's like, we should stop bombing Yemen. There's no reason for us to bomb Yemen. But 9/11, like, you know, just keep bringing up the past.
my
But
God.
them same, any racist white people in the crowd, like, man, I ain't trying to hear this,
Yeah,
man. 'Cause
yeah,
that's real
yeah.
stuff. But he does that a lot, and it's just like, I think he just knows, like, he's just gonna really go into these far places that make people uncomfortable. But I think he knows where he's at,
Yeah.
so that's why he doesn't feel bad, and he knows his comedy. But also, he knows he's not trying to like really express anything negative. He's just trying to like really push. Like one thing I think that I like that he really said one time when he was talking about like why he does what he does is like he likes to take people, because you know a lot of art, like it could be like music, it could be comedy, it's like an extension of like corners of your mind. So that's the only reason people like it, is because it's like, dang, that's like, I've had like a passing thought about that, but I never went deep into that because my brain don't work that way, or I was too scared. Either way. And like one time, for example, he was talking about, you know, he does the Houston Improv, right? And the Houston Improv, like people come there to see him, but it's also, some people just buy tickets. I'm trying to see a comedian.
Because it's gonna be a good show.
And it was a Sunday, and there was like a lot of black church folk there. And he's, yo, this dude is crazy. He said, I was doing a pedophile joke. I don't remember which one. It was one of the many, because he got so many.
Yo.
But he said basically like, he did the joke, and it was a lady, like a church, an old black lady, like a church woman, you know, like 65-year-old with church makeup, you know, church hat, everything. And she said she was about to have like a heart attack. Like, she just couldn't handle it, like how deep he was going.
No
but
way.
then there was a point where even she was like, I get it.
Yeah.
So he felt good because he was like, I brought her on that crazy ride with me. But at the end,
bring
even
him
she
back
was
home.
rocking with it. Yeah, even
Yeah.
she was like, oh, that's pretty clever. And like, I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So the point he's trying to make is like, that would be like so opposite of his crowd. You know what I'm saying? He's using the most extreme, and he took her there, and then she was like, dang, that was
Brought
clever.
it back.
But that shows like a good comedian, like no matter what the crowd
Yeah,
is, it's an
yeah.
old white dude, but he could connect with so many different people. But like the thing with Louis C.K. is like he calls it, it's like hypocrites. Like he's good at like, if he said, like you said, he says something about white folks or something, they're like, yeah, and they're like cheering him on. He'll say something to make them uncomfortable just as much.
Yeah.
Because it's like the hypocritical aspects. I don't know. I was trying to think of a good example. I couldn't think of one,
he's-
but you know what I mean?
It's a
That's what I like
360
him about.
mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Versus them is like one dimensional. Like, I'm just a racist, but him, it's like, I can like relate because I'm pushing people's buttons. I can relate because even though I'm not racist, I'm still a white dude.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like I still have like these certain thoughts or these certain like, you know, views or certain frustrations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Nah, even in terms of you saying that, she could have been off some Will Smith, Chris Rock entanglement. Like she could have been the most. Of what's it called? Even that, I want to ask you, like,
Somebody want to fight you on stage at one of your shows?
What's your idea on that? Like we're been past it. We talked about it so much on podcasts.
We did
remember.
actually. Yeah.
But
You ever got something mad though, like that for real?
But
like,
I'm saying like something like that. If somebody were to be mad, or even that specific topic, what do you think about it? We're back. So yeah, Hamza, we were chatting up about Will Smith and Chris Rock. Somebody came and smacked you on stage. What you doing?
They wouldn't get close enough to smoke it. That's first of all.
Nah, I feel that. But how do you feel about that situation?
Hamza,
You being
you did Taekwondo when you was young, right?
Tybo.
Tybo?
Tybo.
What's
That's what it
Tybo?
was.
I'm just playing. I have no idea.
I was gonna say what's
You should
Tybo.
have told him what it was though.
Oh,
So he
I don't even know. I don't know Taekwondo. Karate.
Yeah, but,
Karate. But yeah, let's say you
Judo.
being a comedian, you know what I'm saying? How do you handle hecklers, you know, on stage and stuff like that?
I mean, something that I definitely, because there was a time when somebody like irritated me, and I'm like, man, and I just like really, really went in, and then it happened, and I really went in on him, and then like I became hostile to the crowd. They were like scared of me, like, whoa, this guy is he's venomous.
What did you come in saying?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How you get back at
I bombed after that. I was just like,
got mad, you were like,
they just thought I was
forget it.
crazy. Like, at the end, I was like, I was like, time to tell a joke now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not what I can't do.
Leave me alone, bro. I'm trying to work. Yeah.
But one thing is, for me, the rule is when people, because that's something I think in general, like with comedians sometimes, like it's like a cheaper laugh, or it's like an easier laugh when, like, if somebody will ask you something or say something and you kind of just be like, shut up. It's like, I try not to do that as much because it's like a cheaper laugh unless I really feel that way. Like, shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not like for the laugh only. But, yeah, you just try to, if someone says something kind of wild, you want to like, if it's not too crazy, you want to like say something that scares them, meaning like something that the crowd laughs at them. And they're like, damn, I got to, you know, keep myself in order.
Right.
I'm going to get embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm with my girl. You know what I mean?
Because it affects you and the, you know what I'm saying, your act.
But, you know, I think like, yeah, you got to just make people, like make them laugh and scare them. So you scare them by getting people to laugh at them.
Right.
But then like not really going in. But there's times when I'm like I remember one time, like this is, I don't even, man, forget it. It's kind of,
Nah, you good,
because it's me,
It was
man.
traumatizing or what?
It's mean. That's why.
I mean, unless you don't want to say it, but hey,
I mean, it wasn't even. I won't say everything I said, but I just remember like there was this girl. She kept talking shit, and she was like, "You look thirsty," and I was like, "And you look hungry." You know what I'm saying? Because it was mean.
But she was judging you though.
Yeah, I was talking about like
you gotta match their energy though.
Yeah, I matched their energy.
Yeah.
But but that wasn't all I said though. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I went in more, but that was the intro.
Neither here nor there.
That was like the nicest thing I said. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, speaking of being nice now though, because since Ramadan, he started doing clean comedy, so no cussing.
Yeah.
in his stand
So
up. How's that been though? Like
It's been,
working
so
for you.
I'm already not. But I mean, that's how I know comedy's special. I'm gonna actually say that is because I'm already not no like real like dirty comedian, but I'm not scared to talk
I don't know
about
why
nothing.
that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm real dirty, raunchy, X-rated. You know what I'm saying? XXX comedy.
I know exactly what you said.
But uncut. No, I got you.
Uncut Hamza.
Yeah, I'm so bad.
Uncut,
Like
though.
never before seen. Intimate. One-on-one. All right. But basically, but that's how I know comedy's special, because even when I was like really, really mad, depressed, there's like a lot of things I didn't do. I didn't eat good, whatever, but I still always did comedy.
Right.
But you could see in the act how I was like more raw and more like all dark humor.
Right.
And like cursing way more.
Right.
But there's times I would kill even in that, like, dude, there's times I've done really well in that era. So it's like the expression is still there.
Right.
But it isn't like a healthy, it's like imagine like a boxer or athlete taking steroids. Like you're that might not be the best example, but I'm saying like he might do well, but he's not healthy.
Healthy.
You know what I'm saying? He's
off the wrong thing.
Yeah, for me, it's like I'm expressing myself, and I was like, those are important for me. Like that's why even the 24 minute, like I sent it to my aunts, and they liked a lot of it because the comedy wasn't even too dirty, but I was just cursing a lot.
Right.
Like I was like, fuck, man, shit. Like, but I wasn't. It's not like the jokes was like pussy, cum juice. You know, I wasn't like that. It wasn't, but it was just like in between.
I get what you mean.
I would curse a lot.
Yeah,
I would curse a lot because that's just how I felt. Like, you know, fuck this. And even one of my aunts was like, yeah, like it was funny and like it was deep. Like I liked a lot of, but it was not necessary. But I was like, that's even why I'm proud of that, because I was so down, but I could still get up on stage for like 30 minutes and body. You know what I'm saying? So like 100, 120, make them all feel good.
But imagine though now that you're doing
don't
clean comedy though, it's still like you're testing yourself though. You're like gaining another skill.
For Ramadan, I'm completely trying not cursing at all,
Right.
and completely because normally again I'm not like no super raunchy if it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I will like if I feel like it's necessary, I'll throw in some curse words.
Right.
You know, because I'm talking or like this certain joke that's kind of like wrong, but I don't feel like I need to be like real crazy all the time because it just doesn't feel there. Like I would be lying if there wasn't some motivation like coming from like, damn, if I just do all crazy stuff, none of my family can come see me.
Right.
There is that feeling, but the main reason is just because I don't need it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the main reason. I don't need it.
It's a sense of control too. I feel like
Yeah.
I look into that a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Even within our craft or whatever it may be. You know, obviously, you know what I'm saying, nobody's perfect or whatnot. But at the same time, it's like with everything, whether it be the videos to you know what I'm saying, music to the what's it called? It's like there's obviously you can call it extreme, but technically it's just what's right. You know what I'm trying to say? Because if we really want to go towards religious wise and whatnot, it's just what's right. It's what's written.
And that's real. That's,
and then more about, to me personally, with my, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, even my skits, and that's a form of what's it called before stand-up. But even with that, it's like I try to do it in a form where it's like, that's why I relate with you. Yeah. Because it's like in a form where it's like, it's the most righteous, you know what I'm saying? It's the most, what's it called? Because I have a talent, I want to use it, but I also don't want to abuse it in the wrong way, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And plus, you know what I'm saying? Like we say, everything we put out there is out there.
It's out in the universe and out.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't want to...
in the future, your kids used to cuss a lot.
I was going through it. I was going through a lot. But that's the thing, though. I think I like to use... I'm glad you said that, because that's the importance, whether you do anything, whether, you know, like making music, if there's like an authenticity and a purpose behind it, I do feel like God's like proud of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it has like a reason. And when it comes to, first of all, us just being humans, because like humans have like, it even says that like in the Quran, like there's like dark and light. But when you're doing that, there's a purpose to it. And then also it's the balance of it, because like an example now is what they try to do even with art, or what they try to do even with the negative messages, is they try to go, it's just art. It's just art. But they really trying to push something. But you could just be a dude like, I'm giving you the story of Italian mobsters. So there is murder in it. There is some cocaine in it. Because it really happened. But there's a difference between that and like, oh, like we just about to show all this and all this because, and they try to pretend like it's just art, but they really trying to push something negative.
And you had a choice.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah,
you had a choice.
Yeah.
It's not like hey, this is what it is and that's the only way. Yeah. But you had a choice.
So you're telling a story, you're being a depictor, and that's like with life, with being the artist, being vulnerable.
That comes down to every other little factor. Even with what we're saying here, I want to ask you about, like, you know what I'm saying, even with stand-up, how does that, you know what I'm saying, how does that affect or work mentally? Like, how does it with your mental? You know what I'm trying to say? Because it's like, it's a lot. Because even these decisions of you not choosing to do things such a way are like, you know, some mental decisions, you know what I'm saying, that you have to adapt to or accept within yourself. How does, like, not only this, but just generally the stand-up, what's it called, meant with your mental in a way, like in terms of performing and like the way you perform and how you go about it?
Like, how does it like affect me mentally?
Yeah, so it's like in terms of mentally, let's say, these decisions you have to make within your craft, because your craft is you. You know what I'm saying? You're representing you. You're the product, right? So with, you know what I'm saying, you explaining everything, or, you know what I'm saying, going out doing stand-up comedy or whatnot, it's like a lot of things, a lot of decisions within that, let us say, stage or like that event you have come from a mental point of view, like, hey, how you want to go about it, what's it called, the decisions you make on what to say, how to say it, you know what I'm saying, whether it be like you want to do, like right now in Ramadan, you want to do less curse words and whatnot, so it's like
fully clean.
You going into what's it called, you need to be like a sane, like, you know what I'm saying, at a good mental state to be able to go up there. I know you're used to it in a way now, but like eventually throughout the way, how did that affect your, you know what
I'm better than ever now that I'm like healthy and stuff.
That's like, probably why you kind of, what's it called, the question, because it's like, you're like, maybe that was things that happened that, like me personally, I'm asking you that because, like, let's say I'm looking to go into stand-up, and it's like, yo, I want to know what toll it takes over my, what's it called, for me to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, you know, like I said, like, I'm better, like, I feel like I know I'm better than ever now. But, like, you know, like, before, that's what makes it special, because I did it. Like I wasn't like now I be like working out, eating good. Like I wasn't doing that. I was still doing comedy.
Right.
But it's like you gotta just be like. I think like if you let it be like the only thing, then you attach your self-worth to it.
Yeah.
So then when you don't do good, you feel bad. But the funny thing about it is, even when I wasn't, doing good or feeling bad like that, I still like. There's times where it would just be in my head. Like the next day I could kill, but that one day I do bad, I'd be like, man, I'm falling off. Life sucks.
Yeah.
The next day I do good, I'm like, well, never mind.
Yeah.
But like again, like now it doesn't even like, even if I'm only hard on myself to try to get better.
Right.
Like I said, I did the first show, killed, and I was the last person at my normal show.
Yeah.
And even though it's less people, the crowd's tired. I'm like, gotta get even better. That doesn't even matter. But I'm not like letting it make me sad though. But I'm using it. But someone else might just be like, bro, you just killed at the other joint. It's because of the crowd. But how can I get so good that even that lesser crowd is tired? Doesn't matter. I can still kill.
It could.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it even takes a lot for you to get there.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And
I
a new
used to feel
comedian
bad,
just like
man.
me, and a new stand-up comedian just like me, can let that one fall or not good. What's it called? Take a toll on. You know
But then again, though, they say like when you bombing, like it actually makes comedians better. Like they
Builds
said,
character.
who was it? I think it was Charlie Murphy. I just was listening to something recently, and they were talking about Charlie Murphy, how he used to like go to those comedy clubs,
Right.
and just like practice, get his practice in and stuff. But he bombed a lot, but he like purposely just try to throw anything out there and just bomb on purpose.
Richard Pryor was like the king of that, because he used to do something really crazy that like I don't know if other people do it, but Richard Pryor is one of my favorites, and
what was
but
it?
he was known to do that. Like he used to go to shows, and like he just had something to say, and it could be a whole new 15. And it's like, bro, this is a show that people paid money for. How
He's
you
like just practicing.
He's just practicing, even though it's like a paid show with like a big audience. And people will be like, what the but like but a lot of people like, I ain't about to do that.
Yeah.
But he just be like, man, y'all motherfuckers, man, I don't feel good today. I'm actually reading a Robin Williams book, and people used to be such a big fan of Richard Pryor and his bits that they used to want to hear him again. So they used to yell him out like songs, like do the Italian Mafia joint, do the Mudbone, and he said sometimes he'd be like, you do Mudbone, motherfucker. Like I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's how Patrice O'Neal used to talk.
Yeah.
It's like it's just how he feels.
Yeah, but that's
So
real.
if he's in the bad mood, it's gonna be comedy given to you in a bad mood, or whatever it is. Like it's just based on how he's
I
feeling.
also feel like that's like a way comedians set like a standard for themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because every comedian has to do their thing, right? And they have to like portray what's it called. Like I feel like you instilling that into the audience, like they paid 15 whatever for the show, and then he's doing something like where he's practicing and so it's just like it can be a form of practice, but it can also be a form of, hey, I want to instill this within the audience, so that way they
That's deep,
what I'm trying to say? They know me for that. Like Bernie Mac, we talked about it earlier. Bernie Mac, I told you, you go through, let's say Bernie Mac show. Right. Bernie Mac show to a Bernie Mac comedy back and Laugh at My Pain or something like that. That's Kevin Hart. I'm tripping. but there's like a little, what is it
Kings
called?
of Comedy?
Kings of Comedy. Yeah, but back then. So it's like, Bernie Mac is coming out to do this, and when you come to see him in the show, you expected Bernie Mac the same one you see him, but he's the same person. Yeah. It's not like he changes or anything, but that's what he instilled in people. That's why I mess with him so much, and he's a legend. Yeah, but that's
deep though, what you said actually.
Yeah, I feel like they try to like, you know what I'm saying, like move that way. Like I even been trying to find my niche in terms of like how I want to be portrayed within the stand-up comedy, because it's like, you know what I'm saying, everybody, stand-up comedy is a lot. There's so many comedians, you know that. It's like, you know what I'm saying, everybody got to have their or how they do things, and it's like,
I think you know it too though.
Yeah.
If you just do it. Start doing it.
For sure.
That's the
You'll
best
naturally
advice.
fall into it.
That's the best advice, to just do it, because then you just like it develops, and you just keep getting better, and it changes with the times. Like how I said, like through down. That's why I have some legendary performances when I was like dumb depressed. Like some really dope ones. Even that, like when I was going off on this one lady from DC in the car, I was dumb depressed when I did that, bro. But that was like amazing. And everyone bombed. Everyone bombed. I went on, and it was like she was mad. She almost attacked the host. She was crazy.
No way.
She was just pissed off. She was because he said something about crack, and she was like, from this lady from DC. She's like, you ain't about to talk about crack in my city. I'm like, damn, okay, but I just thought
She either
like,
sells it or doesn't.
Yeah,
It was one of them
like,
two.
what?
yeah, I think she also felt
Just
some
sit
type of
down and
way.
enjoy
like,
the
nah,
show,
yeah.
man.
I think she felt some way because the host was a white dude. They don't talk about that in my
Yo,
city,
that's probably
motherfucker.
why.
Yeah.
Was
Because of
this
y'all.
here?
It's because of y'all.
It was here in DC.
Yeah, it was like last March. But you know, funny thing is when it comes to like the rules of like what can be said or whatever, I think it's like technically I think the stage is sacred in the sense of I think anyone can say anything they want. Like put it this way. Anyone can say, I believe anyone should be able to say whatever they want. But if I feel like it's animosity and it ain't funny, or I just feel like he just wanted to express because he's racist, then at the end of the show, I might not want to be your friend no more. Or I might not want to shake your hand, but I don't think nobody should beat him up. I would defend that person. Like, nah, nobody should try to jump him or let him. I think that because it's sacred. But it's just like if I feel like you was really coming from like then maybe I'm like, I can say like I respect you less because I feel genuinely, but it takes a lot for me to feel that way. Like I don't think like if a white dude says something, I'm like, oh, he might have thought that was funny. But there is a point.
It's
but
all about your intention, right? Intention is like,
Yeah.
you can, I guess you can tell. It's all about the intent behind
That's
it.
right.
And it has to come from a place of love and laughter. You can tell, bro.
And there he goes. He just answered it for us. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what he thought about Will Smith and Chris Rock. You don't believe Will Smith should have did all that.
So this is what I think. Yeah, I do not think that he should have did that. No, I think the whole sense of the whole like one of the rules. I guess I remember one time a dude. I guess I don't want to say his name, but he's like a local legend, and he's like influenced like some greats, some like big people But I'm saying like. He was at a spot and there was an Asian dude that was like trying to beat him up, and he was like, I'm the only Asian dude here. And that was actually a good point because like I'm not saying that he shouldn't have said the joke but he kept going in on him. And if it's like there's all these non-Asians there, it ain't like all Asians do that and it's 7 Asians or 10. It's one Asian dude and all these people laughing at him. It's like they're making him the laughing stock. I can see how that's a little fucked up. Like imagine like I'm at a show and it's just all certain people and this one dude and I'm just like going in, going like 7 things about him.
Now
he's just like
he's
the clown now. Like I'm not even saying like the dude should have wanted to fight him, but I'm saying his anger is not 100% displaced or crazy. I can see why he was so mad. He was trying to really whoop his ass.
That's wild. If you singling somebody out, and
but you see what I'm saying? It's different if it's more Asians in the crowd. Then it's like, all right, or it's like how you, because I don't think he said nothing crazy, but I just think again that whole like he's become the laughing stock and he keeps going in on him. Then it's like I can kind of see. Not saying I would move that way, but I'm just saying I can like he's not crazy for being angry is what I'm saying. Versus a lot of times I'm like, bro, this is just a joke. Which other times people trip or get tight about. So there was that, you know what I'm saying? But with the whole thing, like for example, in that situation, some people tried to say, some people's like, I like that he slapped, he was defending black women in that situation. What I think is this: all right, he was talking about black women's hair and like this, I guess generally white like show. Like you can see how that's like a little bit fucked up, but it's still like it was still a funny joke. I'm just trying to
I
see
get
both sides. Like are people crazy for being angry? Are people? I think that's the only dog that people got in the fight for like why Will Smith could have been mad. Is like you talking about black women's hair and there's like a history with that. If you go to like slavery and stuff.
You think it was like kind of fake or something? You know how people say, oh.
Well,
I heard
something
that
interesting.
too, you know?
Something interesting was the ratings were actually horrible. Before that happened, they were dying. Like the ratings for the.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows if it was like a show?
Yeah, they were on the Oscars. They were really, really bad. And then like they were bad. Like you can check them. And after that joint, they just shot back up.
That's
like
crazy.
next year.
That's crazy.
They said
I don't know what to believe anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
The funniest thing I ever heard about that, they said they said Will Smith slapped up the host and won Actor of the Year. That's the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life. He slapped the shit out the host, sat back down,
and won an award, and it was like emotional crying, and it was like speech. That's crazy.
He got a standing ovation.
The
bro.
audacity, right?
He went crying.
That shit was crazy, bro. That was crazy, man. That was crazy.
It was a crazy time. But I had to ask you about it. In terms of idols, who do you?
My favorites of all time.
Maybe a top 5, comedians.
I just name them in no order.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's people that I really mess with that influence me. Yeah, like Chappelle, of course.
Whew.
Richard Pryor.
Okay.
That's like a big one for me that I feel like he's big for a lot of.
Are these in order or no?
No order. I'm just naming them. And Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Louis C.K., George Carlin, Donnell Rawlings
Oh, Donnell.
for like the
Yeah,
you know
You know who Donnell Rawlings is, right?
I'm
Ashley
rich
Larry?
bitch Ashley Larry.
Ashley Larry.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's funny, man. Chris Rock.
That's fine.
This dude that I'm about to name next is like, oh yeah, Hannibal Buress. Dang, I almost
You
forgot.
like Hannibal Buress?
Well, he was a big influence on me.
He is funny. I just remember every time I think of Hannibal Buress, I just remember he's the one that started the whole
Yeah, I feel
Cosby
you.
stuff.
Cosby thing, yeah.
He
But
said
he's,
it one
he's
time,
good.
and then all of a sudden that just blew up from there.
Yeah, you know
that
he talked
blew up
about
for
that.
sure.
He talked about that in his stand up. He was like, I feel like they making me the face of this, man. I don't like this. Like,
They were.
He was like upset about it, or like I didn't want to represent it. I was just making a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, they did use him for that. Like,
yeah.
Some people used to say like, oh, they like bribed him or paid him to like start it, and then they'll like elevate him. But I mean, there's no evidence behind that.
Yeah,
you know
he
what
said
I mean?
he was just making a joke at a random club.
Yeah,
but
and
they
just
was
used it.
the way he like the joke he had about that was hilarious. He was like, they kept making fun of me like because I wasn't known. They were like, unknown comedian Hannibal Buress, homeless comedian Hannibal Buress hits the stage in rags and talks about Bill
Yeah,
Cosby.
that made
Yeah,
knew
I'll
him
tell
like
you,
that.
it
That's
gets
funny.
crazy.
He said I like that joke though because talking about that rape made me get consensual sex all across the country. So
Yo,
thank
Hannibal's
you.
wild.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of your other favorite comedian, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't want to get.
He has a whole show. You know how Louis C.K. had a show, of course, on FX. Does he still have? It's not. Still
It's
playing.
like the episodes are like you can still buy them on his website, and I think like some of the
But
streaming.
there's no new episode.
No. It
What?
ended. It ended before the controversy. Like
Hamza created a show.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
similar
speak
to
about
that
that.
style of Louis
Yeah,
C.K.
yeah.
show.
Yeah, speak about it, Hamza.
Yeah, it's just like a
Life
show
of
about
Hamza, right? Life of H or Life of Hamza?
yeah.
Life of H.
Life of H. Yeah. It's just like about like basically a person in Philly, like a college student who's aspiring to be a comedian, and like Philly is like a good city because like Louis takes
He
place.
went to Temple, by the way.
Okay.
in
Yeah,
Philly.
yeah. And like Louis, like it's in New York, and you know New York can have just like the city that it is. It can have either like the happy framework or like it can be like a depressing city. Like Philly's just only depressing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect city.
All the
Yeah.
Philly folks will be like,
Perfect
"Yo,
to
who is
do.
this
What you
guy?"
mean, man? Yeah. So that was why I liked it, and like you know it just was like that show's just dope. Like to me, that's like one of the best shows ever.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is a good
also
show.
they was you know how they was like crucifying him when all that Me Too stuff happened. They even gave him credit and said
What's this show called again?
the show. His
It's,
show, Louis. It's just Louis.
Louis.
It was big on like FX, and it was crazy. And they actually, he did everything on it. They used to
Right.
just wire him money.
Yeah.
FX,
Oh, yeah.
they had no control.
He wrote like
He
was
wrote
director,
it, he acted
wrote-
it,
Yeah.
co-directed it, produced it,
Yeah.
all that stuff. They just would
Same
send him
thing
money.
he did.
Yeah,
Second
basically,
Dawn.
but
Yeah.
you know, not on that level.
So it
but
inspired
Right.
you to get the Life of H?
to make that joint,
Yeah,
yeah,
make
I
it
was
Life of
like,
H.
this show is so good, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to make it like more urban and then a younger dude.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
feel,
With
you know
that
what
being
I'm saying?
said, did you ever see yourself outside of like doing something else outside of comedy?
Yeah, I mean, like when I started to do comedy, it was definitely like you know, like other things I was doing at the time, but I was like, dang, comedy is like, cause you know how much shit I had to go through just to even make that little like 2 episodes,
Right,
and
right,
like the
right.
little
Yeah, I
like so
remember
much
you, that's a
hell.
lot of work.
All
Yeah, it's
we
a lot
do
of work.
is
Because you know like funding and all that stuff, but like comedy, I was like, dang, I feel like I'm like good at this, but I can just get on stage and now I get paid a little bit to do it.
yeah.
But with the other stuff, it's so much more. But I technically like that stuff just as much.
Yeah.
I can't even fake.
You
Like
gotta
I
balance
like.
it, because
I'm
you're
not
getting
even
your
gonna say
creative
like.
flow going.
Yeah.
Now it's like I feel like that's taken over comedy. I feel like I like that just as much.
right. As in
be
like
honest.
the camera side.
I love comedy, but
Yeah.
there's other things like I love like.
I mean, it's a form of comedy too. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
comedians,
be
where do
acting.
they get their careers, you know what I'm saying, moved on
then
to?
do acting, yeah.
acting and stuff
I mean,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, so eventually.
And you get to use your storytelling skills.
Yeah, exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You get
And
that
then
out.
art, like, you know, like screenwriting.
yeah.
There's like scripts that I'll be trying to
man.
write, but it's just, I have scripts that I wrote, and there's
Yeah.
other joints I'm
Yeah.
working
You get
on,
a
but
lot.
it's just like, actually, I'm
It
trying
has
to
a lot
do,
to-
actually,
Yeah,
I'm
how
trying to
many-
do, speaking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah,
You know what
for
I'm saying? If
real.
y'all,
Yeah, that's
if
what I
y'all
was talking-
fill out the character profiles, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
no,
We
for
got
real.
something, we got
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we
How many episodes is it, by the way? The
The
Life of
joint,
Hamza?
it's 2 episodes, and there's like,
It's 2? I
It's
thought it was
2.
like 3 for some reason.
no, it's 2, but there's a bunch of also scenarios where
Right,
they're just
that's
like
what it was. That's what it
5 or
was.
2 minute clips, 3 minutes of me doing stuff, like me going to the Poppy store.
I remember.
That's like a bodega, but in Philly. Same, it's exactly the same as bodega, but it's
Same
just in
thing.
Philly. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Or like me in like my room, like I'm doing financial aid. It's like little scenarios, and Louis was like that in a way, in the sense of like it was
His
like
everyday life.
Yeah, it was everyday life where they were
scenarios.
like just could be a scenario, be funny.
Right.
Like he's just at the store or he's
Right.
at the bar,
Right.
he's that, and it'd be
Yeah.
funny. And I did try to even pay respect to like some like like people like that I like, because in that joint when I'm like Jimmy's brother, the Dominican dude, Puerto Rican dude, is like Jimmy's brother.
Yeah.
That's actually Jimmy's brother. That's actually a thing from Judd Apatow movies, because
Okay.
they stay confusing people as Jimmy's brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah, nah, eventually, like, the acting comes with comedy. That's how I feel like it is. And eventually, you know what I'm saying, prosper there too. In terms of, like, advice for anybody, you know what I'm saying, as me, myself, I need some advice, brother. Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying, going into comedy, what would you, you know what I'm saying, somebody, let's say you're talking to your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
Definitely just get up and just do it. Just don't overthink it. Like, damn, I gotta have to just get on stage. Because I remember when I first started, I was like, let me just really, really study the craft, but not get on stage a lot. You have to get on stage like a lot of times, like, and then also whatever. And then just dig deep, because that was the thing. Last thing I'm gonna probably say is just like, so like Louis C.K. is like he's one of my favorite comedians, one of the greatest of all time, but. He actually is an interesting case, because he's probably, him and Chris Rock are the only two non-naturals that I'm a big fan of. So he was like doing comedy for like 10 years, and he was like, I'm gonna quit, but he was just like, I'm too deep in. I've already given too much of my life. Louis C.K. He was so bad. And then he said he remembers doing an hour at a Chinese spot, and it took him like 10 years to make that hour, which is like not good. Like, that's too long to make an hour. But he said he was crying because he did so bad. He was like, this is all I have. And then he remembered, he's like, this is all I have, how? And then he remembered George Carlin would make like a year every 2 years. I mean, an hour every 2 years. And then he remembered, this is the really deep thing about comedy. It's like, just dig deep. Because everything has layers. Even me talking to you right now, there's a layer that I'm like, because I'm conversating with people. Then if I'm alone, I'm going deeper in my thoughts. And that happens subconsciously. We get on stage, you're like, I have a mic in my hand. So don't talk the same way you'll talk to people, but kind of bring some of that on the stage. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you literally remember, you know how I know? Because even sometimes I do comedy in the street, people be like, man, when I'm talking to you, you actually a little bit more funnier. Because there's something I'm doing that I'm not doing when I get on the mic. So remember to carry that over, and then you'll come up with stuff that people will love and relate to and really connect to, and be like, yo, he's in my head. And boom.
Nah, that's
You
real,
came a
bro.
long way, bro, because first of all, you're consistent. You're doing shows every week. So like a year ago, Hamza versus now, like I could see the difference.
Yeah, thank you,
That's
man.
what's up, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But Hamza,
You got something for him, right?
oh yeah, Hamza, this is not the last we're gonna see of you. That's first and
for
foremost.
sure.
You know
I'll
what I'm
be
saying?
back here to buy food.
We appreciate you for putting up. Yeah, not just food, but I'm saying in terms of podcasts, we want to hear more.
Oh, that would be
I
great.
want to learn more, bro.
That would be
For
great,
sure, bro.
yeah.
I'm getting into it. We got a little something for you, Mr. Hamza. You know what I'm saying? Just a little. Don't worry, I ain't take this joint from no dirt or nothing.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah,
This
we
is
got a
back
little
pocket.
back pocket, a little Halal Wrist gear. You know what I'm saying? For you to hopefully you can, you know what I'm saying, do stand up with it.
Nah,
anyway,
definitely
you know what I'm
will.
saying? Show up.
I'll wear
show
this
love to the brand.
Next
Appreciate
time
you,
on
bro.
stage.
The next
Thank
show.
you so much.
Yeah, feel free to
For sure.
Yeah, feel free to shout out anybody. You know what I'm saying? Or,
Just
how they
you
right
can
here.
follow me on
this camera right
Instagram.
there,
You can
too.
follow me on Instagram. Hamza Aberra is HAMZA ABERA, and check out a little 24-minute comedy mixtape I did. I got a 30-minute special I'm gonna drop, and yeah, man.
Oh, and where your
hope
shows
to see
are
y'all
every
soon.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where your
every
show?
week. Club Moonlight, Heaven and Hell. It used to be called formerly Heaven and Hell, and yeah, man, just other places I do comedy, but you'll be able to find out, on my social media. So, yep. Thank you so much, man.
Fall back too close, you ain't even know me. Trust my brothers from way back from the north. Just me and Dior, spend it like they owe me.
Well, we appreciate you, Hums. And you already know the new gear is at www.halalwrist.com. We're at the restaurant, which is also our podcast office. Come visit and try our delicious food. You know what I'm saying?
You tore yours up. Dang, I
yeah,
gotta get to
what?
mine.
I'm about to go Iftar part 2, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Hamza, I gotta give him some wings. But at 3019 Georgia Avenue,
He
Washington,
can't eat wings.
DC.
He's pescatarian.
Oh yeah, he's pescatarian.
We'll
But
tell you
we
about
got
that.
some falafels. We got some falafels for y'all. But appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Make sure you follow, subscribe on our platforms, and as we always say, man, Hamza, as long as the prayers go up,
Oh yeah. The blessings come down.
they come down.
Let's
bro.
get it.
Alhamdulillah. Love.
Yeah.
We out.